G'day everyone, Kate Fantanell or Lady Liberty Australia here. I am sitting here with the youngest and maybe the best looking candidate who's running in the Libertarian Party National Convention for the presidential nominee, Chase Oliver. How are ya?
I'm feeling fantastic. I'm feeling energized today. We just gave our nominating speeches on the floor, and I think the room gave us the response we wanted.
Yes, you've been speaking so well. I've been so impressed watching you, and you've been in libertarian activism for a while. What kind of things have you done?
Well, what got me started was being an anti-war activist. So I got my start literally being on the grounds here in the city of Washington, D.C., facing the riot police and all that stuff. So I've been started as an anti-war protester and then moved into being a criminal justice reform advocate. In the city of Atlanta, where I'm from, they're trying to build this giant militarized police factory. We call it Cop City. So I'm part of the Stop Cop City movement. And also I speak out for a thing called Defend the Guard that will bring our National Guard troops back home from the war zones overseas.
Fantastic. Now, in your speech before, you said you are for free trade, free markets, free movement, and free people. How can we get to that place that you want to be? Because Australia, we are not free. We are not free at all. And we follow America into wars, endless wars. We have an inflation crisis, a housing crisis. What is the pathway to get out of this mess so we can live free?
Well, you're really right. Much of the rest of the world does follow our lead. They say when the United States coughs, the world gets a cold. And that's because much of the economy, much of the world follows our lead. And the first thing we have to do is start supporting the idea of peace, that we don't need to export our values via militarism and bullets and bombs. We need to do that via diplomacy and actually having free trade, breaking down barriers. Because I don't know about you, if I'm selling you something and you're buying something from me, we don't really have a good interest in wanting to shoot at each other. And so peaceful, cooperative trade, voluntary exchange is the path forward to freedom, in particular in foreign policy. And then at home, you have to hold your elected leaders accountable. In Australia, your cities were locked down during COVID, and you need to make sure that anybody who locked you down is not re-elected into office. You have the power of the vote, and I know in Australia you have preferential voting.
Yes, we
so you
do.
don't have to fear about putting a smaller party as your first choice. You don't have to vote for a lesser of two evil in Australia. And if we could export that from Australia and import it here in the United States, that would be great for us.
Look at this, the free exchange of ideas. That's what I love about hanging out with libertarians. Now, the other thing that you've been quite vocal on, which I really love, is targeting the 18 to 35 age group. At the moment, we are seeing the younger generation confused about what they believe in. They're anti-capitalist, even though they don't know what the word means. How, as the youngest candidate running, do you think that we have a chance of educating the next generation so they're not going to vote for these war criminals, as you called them?
Well, I think what you have to do is first you have to go where they are and you have to listen to their concerns. The only way you're going to persuade someone to your side of an argument is to understand what their grievances are and what their concerns are, and then provide them those solutions with the libertarian philosophy. You're right, they may think it's capitalism that's bad, but what's really causing this hyperinflation is our government printing trillions of dollars out of thin air each year, and that's a tax. That basically affects your wallet, whether it's or your money, whether it's in your pocket or your bank account or your business or wherever. It's a hidden tax on every single person. And young people, you're the ones who are suffering the most. You're the people who are just getting started in the economy, who are struggling to make ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck. And I know what it's like to go to the grocery store with the same amount every 2 weeks, but see less and less filling up the cart. And that's what you're going through. And we have solutions to help ease that pain and bring about a better, more prosperous world for you and honestly for your kids in the future.
Now, have you ever been to Australia?
I have not, but I would love to go.
It's just a long flight. It took me 31 hours to get here, but I'm
Goodness
so
gracious.
happy to be here, and we'd love to have you come down under. You're such a fresh face for libertarianism. We need to get the younger generation to understand us, and thank you for everything that you've done, because you're really cutting through, and I appreciate all your work. And Australia says g'day.
I'd love to get down to Australia and say good day to everybody down there. I have an uncle from Melbourne who turned me on to Australian rules football.
Yes.
So you guys have some of the most hard-hitting sports out there, and I want to get out there and hit the two-party system just as hard.
What team do you go for?
I am not super familiar with all the teams out there.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what he got. He's from Melbourne, so
I'm Carlton supporter.
well, I'm going to just go ahead and join that.
Yeah,
that and
I
we'll-
got a
we'll go.
Carlton supporter.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you, Chase, and good luck today with the nomination. You might be the presidential nominee for the Libertarian Party by the end of today.
From your lips to God's ears.
Thanks, everyone. I'll chat to you soon.